Hey guys and girls, it's Trent here. I'm back. It's very good to be back. It feels a little bit awkward actually for me to come back and talk to the camera, but I'm very happy to be back. I needed a bit of a hiatus. I needed time to put my social life and personal life back into perspective. Now this train is finally on its track. I am very happy to give you a video which I have been planning for a very, very long time, and that is my top 7 female video game characters. And I'm not going to be getting into diplomatic reasons as to why I picked these female characters. I'm not actually too sure what constitutes a good female lead in video games these days, but my picks are female characters which I have had a connection with. These characters are what I would believe to be paragons or icons. I don't find it hard to believe that my characters that I've chosen, I will be remembering in about 5, 10, 20 years to come from now. These characters, I believe, will stand the test of time for being original, for hitting an emotional chord within me, etc, etc. And even though I am a male gamer, of course it's in my nature, I have picked these women for said reasons. And yeah, I put a lot of time into it, so hopefully you guys like it. So here we go, we're going to start the list, and we're going to kickstart number 7 off with Chun-Li from the Street Fighter series. Bong. That was supposed to sound like a gong, by the way. Bong. Chun-Li is the woman who has all men bowing before her. This Chinese beauty with the legs of legend is Capcom's first lady in the Street Fighter series, and blazed the trail for other females who would soon join, such as Cammy, Rose and Sakura. Chun-Li's story has always remained fairly unchanged since her debut. As an Interpol agent or cop, Chun-Li's sense of justice is unparalleled, and her obligation to stamp out crime lords and the evil corporation Shadaloo for killing her father is what drives her to fight for a better tomorrow. This woman is no pushover in the ring and will gladly pummel your face to a pulp with her signature lightning legs move, spinning bird kick and Kokosho fireballs. Chun-Li is without a doubt one of the most iconic female fighters in all of gaming, and excluding her from my list would be both injustice and unfair. Just please don't watch Legend of Chun-Li, it wasn't a great movie. Watch the Street Fighter 2 animated movie where she gets into a bit of a dispute with Vega. That was friggin' incredible. And yes, I am a Chun-Li player, I main Chun-Li quite a lot. Enough said, I love Chun-Li. Whenever I hear Americans say her name, it just puts me into fits of laughter. They don't know how to say her name, it's really quite bizarre to me. We all speak English. I don't know, I'm lost. Anyway, that character would be Lara Croft, or the American would say Lara Croft. I don't know how you guys get that wrong. I think it's actually hysterical, but that's my number 6 pick, would be Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series.
What exactly happened last time you and Takamoto got together?
He was trying to pass off forged relics from the Asuka period, and conventional reason doesn't work with Yakuza.
But you let him go.
Well, we're going to have a useful conversation. It's turned out quite nicely.
Lara Croft makes my list as she was what I would consider to be a pioneer for future female protagonists to come in the future. Lara came out at a time when gaming was dominated by male characters, so imagine what all of us little teenage boys were like when we first saw Lara front and centre in Tomb Raider back in 1996. Lara Croft is the very first female character I recall who stole my heart as a kid, with her iconic blue tank top, her short shorts, impossible sized breast proportions, and dual wielding pistols. The Tomb Raider series have been a huge part of my gaming childhood, and I still play the games to this day. Lara's occupation is exactly what it says on the tin, a Tomb Raider. Seeking fabled relics and items of mystical origins, slaying T-Rexes and conquering almost every single temple across the world, to my knowledge, no tomb is left unturned when this British heroine is in town. Although Lara has been reimagined many times, I still think her strongest performance and characterization was in Tomb Raider Legend. She was sassy, she was beautiful, intelligent, headstrong, if a little bit narrow-minded. Her acrobatic prowess is also exemplary, and her knowledge on all things historical will put most scholars to shame, and not to mention she is also fluent in multiple languages. That takes intelligence. What I most admire about Lara is that she doesn't bat her eyelashes or flaunt her sexuality to get what she wants. She shoots bears and dinosaurs in the face and does things the old-fashioned way. Think Indiana Jones. Enough said. Number 5 is going to be a little bit controversial because if you take her for face value, she doesn't appear to be much of a character. However, if you do a little bit of thinking, like I do, you might be surprised at just how well and just how multifaceted this character is. And I'm talking about the luscious, alluring, and stunning Bayonetta.
I feel like a fucking celebrity in this town. See that? Everyone rushes at me like crazed fans. They still haven't figured out that I don't give autographs.
Bayonetta would usually get ignored by most people for being nothing more than just a sex object, with her over-the-top sexualized image, outlandish costume designs, and campy dialogue. I think there's more to this woman than meets the eye, and it's not hard for me anyway to see why she is one of the most original female protagonists to come out in quite some time, with her eye-popping, body-hugging outfit which is comprised of her own hair, her quad pistols, 2 of which are on her feet, and her perfectly matching British accent. I love the British. Bayonetta is a product of both a genius and a madman, and that is a compliment, by the way. Bayonetta is a hybrid mix of 2 different races, the Lumen Sages and the Umbrum Witches. Her occupation? To slay all the naughty angels for her infernal partners. Now that's original. Bayonetta carries herself in a very different way to other women on my list though. She is very, what's the word, adult. Her tongue-in-cheek humour is also a standout for me. Her strong will and her confidence in her abilities also really sets her apart. I do think she is multifaceted, apart from the obvious traits that she possesses, especially when it comes to interactions with Cereza. It just proves to show that even an angel slayer can still have a heart of gold and maintain her charms and personality. Is she the most realistically female empowering figure in all of gaming? Not really, but Bayonetta definitely takes the cake for style and originality. Oh, don't fuck with this witch. Righty ho, we are up to number 4. This one was difficult for me. I actually swapped this character in and out. Because I'm restricting myself to 1 character per series, I had a really hard time with this one. And I have picked Ada Wong from the Resident Evil series. I was going to pick Jill Valentine, she was this close. But the award goes to Ada Wong, for said reasons.
If she wants a game, she'll get one. With the real Ada Wong.
Who is this?
An old friend, Simmons. Ada Wong.
Ada.
Let's ditch the pleasantries and get right to it. That little doppelganger you brewed up just told me she has her heart set on destroying the world.
What?
Looks like the race is on. Let's see who comes in first.
Ada is the most mysterious female character on my list. Not much is known about this beautiful half Chinese-American rogue agent. Even her real name is a debate among fans. What Ada leaves to be desired in the past life department she makes up for in style and panache. Ada began her debut in Resident Evil 2 and has been making appearances up until the more recent Resident Evil 6, and usually always appears when Leon Kennedy has been assigned to the field. Ada appears on my list for a number of reasons. Ada plays a very important and pivotal role within the Resident Evil canon. She fights in a very graceful and mercurial sort of way, and she is very recognisable in her signature red costume, that dress. Because there are so many facets and layers to her character, You're always left wondering, is she a friend or a foe? Can this woman be trusted? Who does she work for, and what are her stakes in the grander scheme of things? Does she love Leon, or is it just a ploy to get what she wants? Questions, questions, and more questions. That's all I have for Ada Wong. The dynamics between her and Leon Kennedy also make for very memorable partnerships, shall we say. Ada's can-do attitude, her ability to hold her own, her intelligence and efficiency on the battlefield makes her one of the most iconic and striking females in the Resident Evil series. At least I think so. My number 3 character, I'm sorry, it's getting a bit dark. I'm losing the light, I'm not sure what's happening. My number 3 pick goes to a more recent female character. There are not a lot of female characters these days who have really impressed me as this character. And this character I'm talking about is Nolan from Remember Me.
Oh my god, he did all this for me.
And you are the only person in the world who can convince him to bring it to an end.
I can fix everything. Fix everyone. Just need a little more time. Just a little more time.
Now, give him a taste of his own medicine.
Nolan is a character who brought a lot of real human emotions to a very hyper-realistic and fictitious game setting. From the very get-go, I knew that Capcom made a good decision to publish this game when looking at our heroine Nolan. Finally, there is a female character in gaming who doesn't need to have obvious sex appeal with barely their clothing to showcase that she is a woman. She is a woman who wears clothes. Whoopee! Nolan, once a famous memory hunter, has had almost her entire memory erased by a powerhouse corporation called Memorize, and throughout the course of the game pieces together the very dark heart of the world and simultaneously pieces together herself as a person. But all the while she still maintains her loyalty as an errorist, is dedicated to protecting her fellow comrades, and displays a true sense of obligation to save a dying world from oblivion. It's actually really amazing to see how well Nolan was created and crafted. Everything down to the way she speaks and questions authority is very compelling, and even when she questions herself as a person is equally impressive. It proves a point that even a solid heroine still has her flaws, and the beauty behind it is that Nolan is willing to atone for the past, to correct the wrongs that were made, and to fight for a better tomorrow. I will definitely be remembering Nolan, as I said in my review. So please, Capcom, release a Remember Me 2. You'd make me very happy. And my number 2 pick was a no-brainer for me. I had to include this very young woman in my list. I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about already. There's something so special about her character. It all comes down to writing. It all comes down to direction. And that's what Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann created. When they made this game, they made a character who would resonate with both males and females alike. And oh god, she's one of a kind. And that person I'm talking about is, of course, Ellie from The Last of Us.
Oh, I'm sure your friend will be missing this tonight. It's light on the reading, but it's got some interesting photos.
Now, Ellie, that ain't for kids.
Whoa! How the hell would he even walk around with that thing?
Get rid of that.
Now, hold your horses. I want to see what all the fuss is about. Oh, why are these all stuck together? I'm just fucking with you. Bye-bye, dude.
Ellie is unlike any other 14-year-old girl I know of, and quite frankly, I am quite saddened that there are very few women in gaming who mirror the bravado of this young woman. Ellie is a reminder to me of lost innocence. Because of the harsh and brutal environment she has grown up in, living in the quarantine zones of a post-pandemic America, Ellie doesn't fight for glory, power, or wealth. She fights for survival. This actually troubled me when I first started playing The Last of Us to see a child in such a hostile setting, but it really drums home the fact that tomorrow is never guaranteed. As a result of her traumatic past of losing her mother and her best friend Riley, Ellie trusts very few people, has a very short temper, and can swear better than most adults I have ever heard. These events have shaped her realistically as an individual, and makes you understand why she is willing to fight for the ones that she loves, up to and including Joel. To me, Ellie is one of those rare examples where I can say that her character is truthful and honestly written, right down to the most minute of details. What she lacks in age, she makes up for with her drive, her courage, fierceness and tenacity. I will never forget the impact that Ellie had on me as a male gamer. This girl is really something special. So we are up to the number 1 pick, but before I do, I did have a few honourable mentions that I wanted to showcase. Some people who didn't quite appear on my list, and even though this is a numeric video, obviously it's from 7 to 1, I love these characters all the same. There's no numbers for me to determine their worth or their value. They are all equally important and I love them all. But here are some honourable mentions before I move on to number 1. Blah, 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 blah. I started babbling there. And my number 1 pick should come as no surprise. It's no-brainer. It's idiotic to not include this woman in my list, and you already know who I'm talking about. And my number 1 pick goes to Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite.
Bird?
Or the cage.
Or perhaps the bird.
Nothing beats the cage.
These two again. How do...
Look at these, they're amazing! Which one do you like more, this one or this? The bird is beautiful and the cage is somber, but there's really something special about it. I just can't decide.
The one on the right.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I love it.
Surprising. I expected the cage.
If you're going to be a sore loser, then I shan't do this again.
Now that's just sophistry.
Elizabeth is one of those mysterious, yet likeable characters who you wish actually existed in real life. On my first playthrough of Infinite, I actually groaned at the aspect of having to escort another female character around throughout Columbia. Yep, I thought she was going to be another Ashley Graham. I was gladly and pleasantly mistaken, of course, because she has lived in obscurity. She's been locked in a tower, books became her best friends, and over time has developed a keen sense of intelligence that surprised both her and Booker. Elizabeth is also naive, but in a very understandable sort of way. She always believes in the greater good in everyone, and often questions Booker's opinions and actions for better or worse. This outspokenness came off neither artificial or condescending, but genuine and honest. But amongst all this truth, there is a real sense of sadness and darkness that dwells inside Elizabeth, and her deepening connection with Booker makes the most intense and emotional scenes in the game almost unbearable for me. There are even points in the game where Elizabeth will be absent, and all I felt was emptiness. A huge void where the heart should be. No character's absence in the game has had such a profound effect on me such as Elizabeth's absence. Her voice and motion capture actress Courtney Draper also deserves special recognition and should be credited for her groundbreaking performance as Elizabeth. Without a doubt, she is the shining star in Infinite and acts as the emotional centre of the narrative. She's the heart, she's the spirit. And the very ambiguous ending concerning multi-universes and quantum mechanics will make you remember this very unique and very special character. I can only hope that more gaming developers look up to Elizabeth for inspiration when creating future female characters. In my opinion, Elizabeth will be studied, talked about, discussed and immortalised among fellow gamers for decades to come. She is a timeless, beautiful, interesting and somewhat of a tragic female character. So that was it, that was my top 7. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys disagree with my list, that's quite alright. I only chose these females because I had some sort of connection with them. I've spent time with them, in the video game sense it is. So I didn't choose these characters like a beauty pageant. I didn't choose them because they were beautiful. I didn't choose them because they had the obvious traits. I chose them because I felt they offered something different, something unique and something special to the entire 3 generations of gaming that I have been through anyway. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you guys would like to add in your own list of best female characters in video games, feel free to do so in the comment section below. The comment section is yours to utilise yeah, I'm babbling, and I shall see you in my next video, which is going to be the polar opposite. So anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. My next video will be a top 7 video on my male characters, so it's the polar opposite. We'll go into my brotherhood now, so I hope to see you there. Yeah, I need to shut up, and yeah, I shall see you next time. Remember you soon.